The next speaker is one of the coolest guys I know. His name is Bogdan Mureșan. He's also one of the modest guys I know. So I will speak about product mindset. And as David very well explained what drives into the product mindset, this mindset not only that needs to go towards our customers, but it needs to be propagated inside our company so that we know how to live, think by it. It's something really, really interesting. And this is a training, actually, who we give to all of our employees. In fact, it is the third version that we had in the last, I think, 5 years. I think this is the best one until now. And we just deployed to the entire company, 450 people. So it's that important for us. Why it's important? Because you cannot play yesterday game with today rule, or vice versa. Why? Because what were the yesterday games and rules? Keep calm and follow the plan. I have a plan, I know what to do in the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And where was the focus on the developers in this time? Here. The focus was mostly in the code. I remember even now that almost 20 years ago when I started, I joined a company and the first thing that I do, I receive an application and they said to me, this is a test which we gave to everybody. You should remove all the bugs from this application. And it was a really cool application, something written in C++ with some recording some events on the desktop, playing the events. And it was really, really technically interesting because I have dived deep into window hooks and other underground stuff which every developer enjoyed at that time. So, you know what this speech is about? It's what I call the ladies' magnet. You don't have how not to attract ladies when you give a speech like this. Windows hooks, routines, callbacks. So that were our focus and our passion. My focus and my passion was at that time. But today game and today rules are that everything is changing, as we saw. Tons of updates every day so that we can stay on track. And if you notice what I said that I work on an application that registered some events and played some events 20 years ago, which was an automated testing tool. And that was actually the outcome, the value of what I was working. But I was not focusing on that. I was focusing on my speech with routines and stuff. So, what is product mindset? It's a way of thinking, a way of acting, which states, as David mentioned, that we rely on 3 simple principles. The first one is build for outcomes. The second one is accelerate change. And the third one is minimize time to value. It's that simple in theory. In practice, it's a little harder to implement it. But in theory, it's that simple. So what actually does build for outcome? We need to understand the business of what we are working on. We need to understand that we are working on a QA automation tool. Besides the technical stuff that are making it so challenging. Because in that way, we know how to bring value. When I work on that, my work, because I didn't understand the power of what I was doing, stopped at removing the bugs. I delivered the code, I removed the bug, that's it. But if I knew what I was working on, I could have added much more value. So what value does mean? Sometimes it means money. Sometimes it means learning. Sometimes it means a tool who help us improve our internal processes. Quite long ago, when I joined this company, I started with a project, and we received the project, and it was the first time that I understand that we are not building code, we are not writing code, we are building a business. What that business said, it said, we have these sensors who will put in a people's house, will monitor the people who are living in that house, will send this data to some server, analyze the data and see if those people are okay. It was a tool who helped us assist person who didn't afford to have a nurse 24/7 near them. And it was the first time that this value actually came to me and see that the importance of what I was doing. For that, I needed to understand the business, and again, what was the value that was added. So when you have a challenge like this in front of you, you know what is the reaction? I call it the Jet Li move. Bring it. You know? It was very challenging, and we were feeling that we are part of something very important. That was the thing. So once we understand what we are doing, it comes the next part. So the guys were telling us, you have to do this, but we don't actually have the sensors, and we don't have actually the algorithms who are analyzing the human behavior. So in the time that you will implement it, we will figure it out. So you will expect a lot of changes. So you know what changes mean for us as human beings? We are very reluctant to changes. Like, everybody changed their seats right now. 3 out of 60. So that's how reluctant to changes we are, even for simple changes. That's the human nature. We see changes as fire, something bad. But changes, as we saw, if we don't operate based on changes, we are, in these days, we cannot succeed on the market. So we need to put down the fire. We need to act like firemen. You know what a fireman does between fires? It screams. I hope that he doesn't scream. He's training, exactly. He's training, he's preparing for putting the fire down. He's going through a lot of situations, but does he has a guarantee that the fire will be as expected? Never. So first he has to mentally prepare himself. Then he has to have some skills in order to put the fire down. Then he needs to execute it perfectly. So it's exactly what we are doing. We are preparing for changes with architecture, with mentally to support changes. How many times did you get frustrated that a client said, oh, I want this button green, no, I want it red now, no, I want it blue. Actually, I don't want the button. And when the changes are coming, we need to operate fast because we need to be there with the changes 10 times per week, as you saw. So then, in that moment, we change our bring it moment to bring it. And we thought, it will be 2 cool years. We have something really interesting to implement. Then, the third thing came out. We were told, you have to do this in 4 months. So we have gone from bring it to did they brought it? Can we send it back? 4 months to put the system up and running. And we actually managed to do it because it was very important to understand the value, to prepare for the changes, and to know when to take the decisions. To know what to implement first that brings the most value. And that's the core of minimizing time to value. What brings value in this moment so that I can learn, we realize also on an agile principle, so that I can learn, adapt to it, and move it to the next stage. Every moment that we implemented, we move through these stages. We added something new. Sensors came after that. We changed it. We learned how they work. We evolved the algorithms. Every moment, the system was up and running so that we can test it and add something new to it. So we managed to deliver it at the end of the 4th month, which was pretty awesome. But that would mean that those times we had to operate under uncertainty. We had to operate with a lot of risks. We had, for example, sensor simulators which send events on the serial ports. We didn't know that the sensor which will come from China will actually act as specification. So we had to take some risks there. And we did it, and at the end of the day, totally worth it. So the entire product mindset relies on those 3 simple principles. Build for outcome, excel at change, and minimize time to value, which means that first we understand what we have to do and what's the value. Then we are prepared to change everything that we understood. Then we bring it fast to the market. We live by it. We teach everything and everybody in our company this mindset. And of course, now we are very glad to share it with you. Thank you very much.